Howdy Tamers, and welcome to my reading of Digimon Liberator DEBUG.15. Similar to the previous readings, I'm not a professional voice actor, and I'm just one person doing their best. So if the voices change episode to episode, or line to line, or paragraph to paragraph, I'm honestly just doing the best that I can. I recommend still heading to the official release over on DigimonCard.com if this is your primary way of consuming the Liberator web novel. Partially so Bandai still gets the site visits, but also because most chapters, like Digimon Seekers, have art. This chapter, however, does not have any art, but I always feel like mentioning this just in case you want to go back and look at the art and the cards from the previous chapters as well. So Liberator does tend to have actual visuals of any new card that's mentioned. This chapter, again, does not. But while the mechanics are usually included in these readings, if you want to see the card itself, head over to the official novel release on DigimonCard.com. However, as I mentioned, there's no art for this chapter, but again, if you want to go back to look at previous chapters, most of them do have art. And with all that out of the way, let's continue on to Digimon Liberator Debug Chapter 15. Debug Chapter 15. Deep in the forest, towering trunks rise up like the legs of giants, and the multi-layered canopy lets only the faintest shards of sunlight touch the floor. It is nothing like the steamy, life-filled rainforest where Winter ended up. Here, the air is so hushed it seems to forbid even breathing. Not that I need air, of course, so muses Altea, the debugging team's ace artificial intelligence. The forest's pristine aura is enough to make even a being of code and circuits want to stand up straighter. In the forest's centre lies the fortress of Digimon who call themselves Guardians. Its layout is chaotic, a patchwork of added-on parts and makeshift barricades splaying everywhere. It lacks even a sense of rugged craftsmanship. It is simply an eyesore clashing with the forest. The structure, with its numerous extensions, looks to have been rushed and unplanned. Most likely they've been under attack and have had to build up quickly. The Ogremon standing guard at the gate and the Goblimon hauling supplies appear relaxed. But Mistymon, the magic warrior who escorted Altea here, looks incredibly irritated that the ramshackle keep is burmishing the forest's purity. Seeing this, Altea decides to ask about it. Does this force displease you? Mistymon snaps back. What are you babbling about now? Altea explains. Pardon me, Mistymon, but from what I can tell, you're the Guardian's de facto leader. If you let your displeasure show, won't that affect everyone's morale? This remark gives Mistymon pause for thought, before it responds. Why does it matter to you? And the only reason we had to build this pathetic fort in the great Delphimon's domain is because of you invaders. Altea tries to explain. As I said, you misunderstood our silence, prisoner. I think it'd be wise for you to focus on your own fate. Ignoring all future questions, Mistymon marches Altea through the gate, down into the fortress's depths, and shoves Altea into a cell. It is quite dark, naturally. Well, as it happens, I have built-in illumination. As Altea demonstrates his body's abilities, the Betsumon beside Mistymon looks memorized and remarks, Whoa, Master Mistymon, this guy just lit up! Mistymon rebukes pointedly, Yes, I can see. Don't get giddy in front of the enemy. Then it faces Altea again with a serious look. We Digimon aren't savage like humans. Within reason, we'll entertain a prisoner's request. Is there anything you want? Yes, perhaps there is, said Altea, putting a hand to his chin, looking like a ponderous tokusatsu hero before, finally, Would you perchance permit your prisoner prompt parole? Pretty please? Clack! With a merciless sound, Altea's cell door was shut tight. Digimon Liberator Side Story, Debug, Chapter 15, Undercover. Hey, time to switch over! As the fortress gate, the hulking beastkin Digimon Gorillamon calls over to Ogremon, who's been sweeping the perimeter with a watchful glare. But the demon sentry looks bemused. What are you on about? We switched like 5 minutes ago. You half asleep or something? Gorillamon insists. Seems like you're the one who was asleep. We switched this morning, and look, the sun's about to set. Looking up at the sky, Ogremon is dumbfounded. Beams of sunset orange seep through the tall trees overhead. No way! I swear we swapped just a little while ago! You're just worn out. It's been super tense lately, so these things happen. I can hardly believe this. If you're that tired, you better get permission to rest from guard duty. Better than having Master Mistymon give you a dressing down. Alright, I suppose I'll do just that. Sorry about that. Still looking somewhat unconvinced, Ogremon goes off back into the fortress. From the shadows, a small blue figure watches the departing guard. Well, I'm in. So far, so good. It's Espimon, Altea's cyborg Digimon partner. With Altea captured, they've split up and Espimon is now scouting the fortress alone. So, Oblivionmon's memory disruption works on the Digimon of Cross Connectia too. I have to hand it to my master. Thanks to having full Digivolution permissions via the unique emblem, they were completely oblivious. Oh? Muttering to itself, Espimon eyes open wide as an idea hits. Oblivion? Oblivious? Maybe my master's genius is rubbing off. Altea chimes in. That lacks a strong punchline. You have ways to go, Espimon. Huh? Master? A sudden transmission cuts in, and Espimon practically jumps. It was Altea. If my signal is reaching you from the dungeon, then you've slipped into the fortress without a hitch. Impressive. Roger. Shall I zoom over and get you out? Espimon sounds concerned about its partner, but Altea refuses, in a calm but warm tone. There's no need for that. They've shut me in a cell, but it doesn't appear that they'll harm me yet. And while they have me prisoner, they won't be on alert. So please keep searching for information about Cool Boy's location. Heeding this, Espimon replies, Roger that. Sorry, Master, someone's coming. Cutting the link for now. Understood. Be careful out there, said Altea. The next thing Espimon heard was a furious shout further down the corridor. Approaching stealthily, Espimon looks into the room, just as Mistymon smashes its fist down upon a table. Kiwimon, who was giving a report, looks shaken, and is given a consoling glance by the Betsumon alongside Mistymon, subtly, so as not to attract the raging magic warrior's notice. This is outrageous! You're telling me you took that man straight to the great Delphimon? The helpless Kiwimon replies, But it was a holy prophecy. Mistymon snaps, exasperated. That's absurd! I absolutely cannot fathom why the great Delphimon would wish to see him. Why do gods have to be so incomprehensible? It was impossible for us to defy. So what are your orders? Asks Mistymon's subordinate. Trying to think, Mistymon taps a boot against the floor, then regains composure and answers assuredly. That man is powerless now we have his cards and device, so this is inconsequential. I wish the great Delphimon didn't have to cause us problems, but I suppose the intention was to ascertain that man's evil nature and decide upon the punishment. Anyway, what are the other humans at the spawn point? They split up, sir. We lost them. They're not idiots, then. However, they were only a threat as a group. Now they'll be easy pickings. So, Betsumon, form a pursuit squad. If they're lucky, Cross Connectia's brutal environment might claim their lives before we get to them. Will do, sir. Something the matter, Betsumon? No, nothing to worry about. Get on with your duties, then. Yes, sir. As Betsumon's lightweight footsteps approach, Espimon darts into a corner. It watches the listless Digimon wander off, then begins piecing together the overheard intel. The man they just mentioned is surely Cool Boy, and they took him somewhere just before we arrived. Now for the more pressing questions. Where has Cool Boy been taken? And who is this great Delphimon? They called it their god, yet our database has no records on it. At the very least, we can infer that it's the same as the beast Digimon that Yuki had heard about from Huckmon, since Mistymon and the others are acting as its guardians. And so Espimon concludes, It's worrying that Cool Boy was taken away to see their god, but to get him back safely, it will be most efficient to gather more information. What's more, Espimon has been given these exact orders from Altea, in whom it places total trust. Okay, then I better give this 100%. Oh, what? Footsteps approach from deeper within the fortress, just as Espimon was getting riled up. Probably a guard Digimon. Espimon shrinks into the nearest shadow, then whispers self-encouragement again. I'm gonna nail this. The iron door of the dungeon opens, and lantern light pours in. Altea, who has remained standing up straight in the centre of the cell, switches off his night vision and gives a courteous bow before addressing the visitor. Have you been working the whole last 12 hours, Mistymon? Don't act friendly. It's your fault I have this much to do. Aggressive words, but the vitriol in Mistymon's voice has faded. Instead, its voice sounds odd, with a hint of something like compassion, prompting Altea to question, You seem to find me pitiful. Why is that? You really are nosy. Still attempting to gather information for the humans, even while captive, weren't you? The retort prompts silence from the cutting-edge AI. Giving a snort, Mistymon continues. Humans created you, yes. Apparently Coolboy spoke about artificial intelligence before. From what I heard from this fortress Terriermon, that old pacifist was finally useful for something. Repeating the words artificial intelligence, as if trying to digest them, Mistymon finally spits out, Such arrogance! They produce you to suit their own convenience, grant you a face and a voice like theirs, and then have the nerve to treat you like an ally. Altea questions, What are you getting at? Why not join our ranks instead? This unexpected proposition from Mistymon makes Altea look up. Altea, was it? Your insight into humans would serve us well. Our fortress may look insecure, yet we'd certainly welcome you as a commander, and more importantly, Mistymon looks at Altea directly. Cross Connectia could become your home as well. You could escape human control and have real freedom. The prison falls silent. It's impossible to read anything from Altea's hero mask-like face. No hint of hesitation, nor of readiness to speak. And for him, the silence is essential to give weight to his reply. I shall decline. Your reason? Do you trust humans? I do. They see you as a tool and nothing more. That's true. Digimon Liberator will eventually roll out a legion of support AIs modelled after me. Then why stay loyal to these people? Because I like them. Because the time I spend with them is enjoyable. How ridiculous! It may be ridiculous, but I assure you, with them, I am free. Whenever I disagree with any of them, I can go ahead and say it. So, meeting Mistymon's penetrating stare without flinching, Altea says decisively, I request that you refrain from slighting my friends in front of me again. Giving a perplexed-sounding humph, Mistymon starts to walk away. Then stay here and wait, and rust, because they will abandon you. If they decide to do that, I'm certain it would only be after painstakingly considering every option. You really are an utter fool. Perhaps, in which case, I'm a gomen sorry. Mistymon was silent save for the harsh clack of its departing boots. Once the magic warrior was long gone, Altea addressed a Digimon in the corner of the hallway outside the cell. Betsumon, what exactly are you doing over there? I doubt you're on Mistymon's orders. What? Concealed amid the gloom under a black cloth is Betsumon. Startled, it springs up. Darn it, you knew! Perks of having an AI eye. My spicy can sees all. Betsumon recoils as if it can't believe its ears before asking, You're still at it. You just keep coming out with that stuff. You mean spicy scan, AI, and the like? Gah, you should stop with all that, or I'll... Betsumon lurches towards the bars excitedly and screeches, It seriously gets me fired up. Just how do you know that? As Altea responds, his mask flashes in the lantern light. Wordplay truly is the pinnacle of human culture. You're saying that's a human thing? Betsumon's face tightens with a flicker of guilt. But curiosity quickly overrides it. You're not actually human, so whatever. So, could you tell me the secret to this stuff? Yeah, I don't see why not. Although it'd be best if Mistymon doesn't find out. Altea continues in a low voice, leaning towards Betsumon through the bars, as if sharing a secret. Now, starting from the basics. To be continued. And that is it for another chapter of Digimon Liberator. So that was Digimon Liberator Debug Chapter 15. Thank you so much for listening. You can contact me and stay updated. You can leave me a comment on this episode on YouTube to join the conversation. For a full list of ways to find the podcast across the internet, such as YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter, head over to my link tree, which is linktr.ee/LostinTranslationmon. If you enjoy the podcast or videos or even my posts online, you can show your support by signing up on Patreon and get some cool rewards and help me hit some milestones. And thank you to my current supporters on Patreon, Stephen Reeves, who is Wild164 on Archive Our Own, Kadawashi, Chisai, who you can follow on Twitter at Chisai236, Neoboo, who says you should follow Chisai on Twitter at Chisai236, Lismet, who is Elecmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Magnus, Lucas, JCMon05, Patrick, Jason, Shelby, Digital Hazard, who is on Twitch at The Digital Hazard, Tropiamon, Vmon Tamer, Kasai, Big Bad Beetleborg, Flavin, Maruna, Bent Archer, Cappy, Cyber, and Voltic Helbert. You can also make a one donation on PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/airjamon. You can also donate to me on my Ko-fi account, which is ko-fi.com/airdra. And once again, thank you so much for listening. If you are listening/watching this on YouTube, do the usual like, comment, subscribe, etc., etc. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!